Hello everyone. Today we will be doing a full service on this GLB, Mercedes GLB. This is a GLB 200 with the 1.3 turbocharged engine. This video will also apply to other models such as the A-Class, A200, B180, B200, CLA, GLA and GLB series. First step we will do is we will change the oil. For this you will have to remove the under tray. Under tray is located under the vehicle. There are some bolts and some clips which you do. At the front these are 8mm clips. As you can see I removed one and there are a few more to go. Then at the back there are some clips which you have to remove. Once the under tray is removed you will be met by the following. Next what you'll have to do is use a clip remover tool like this and remove these clips which hold in around the perimeter. I think there's also one screw here, but you'll have to remove the clips to remove this. This is protecting the oil filter. With that removed, now you can see the areas of interest. You can see the 8mm square drain socket here, and also the area where we'll be taking out the oil filter. The next thing we'll have to tackle is the oil filter, which you can see here. To remove this you will need a 27mm socket, which I will put on shortly. Funnily enough, for this engine, although Mercedes also do an oil filter, you can also use a Renault and a Nissan oil filter. This oil filter will be the same as if you bought it from Mercedes genuine. It is just rebranded as a Nissan filter. This is because this engine is also used across a Renault and Nissan group. As you can see here, it is an original Perflux L441 filter, which is also what will be written on the Mercedes filters. Now what I will do is I will unscrew the oil filter. That is put in nice and snug. Now I will open it. Once you remove this, you will see the filter. All you have to do is pull the filter and it will remove. Next, we will just clean the area where the filter has come out alongside the plastic here with a bit of tissue. Now it is time to put back this cover. We've also changed the O-ring around the filter housing and applied oil around into the plastic cover. Next, what you must do is get the new oil filter and simply mount it in the area and push it in. I will do that and then show you. You must be sure to change the O-ring. It's a copper ring, as you can see. Now we will screw it back in. Now, as you can see, the oil filter has been nice, securely fitted, as well as the sump plug where the washer has crushed nicely to perform a good seal. Now we'll be putting in the oil. What we will use for this engine is genuine Mercedes 5W30. This engine takes 5.1 litres. I will put in 5 litres and then check the digital dipstick. If it requires any more, we will top it up at a later stage. Now we will begin to put in the oil. This is where you will find the oil. Take off the cover. And now to aid the oil pouring, we'll put in a dipstick, a funnel. Now we'll start pouring the oil. As you can see, the new oil is a nice golden color. We'll continue to fill this until all 5 liters have been filled. After the oil is refilled, it's always a good idea to just make sure there are no leaks. As you can see, there are no leaks present. So now we will refit the back tray and then the under tray. Now we will be changing the spark plugs. To locate the spark plugs, you must first remove the engine cover. This is just removed by a pull. That is removed. Now you will see where these spark plugs are located. There's 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is under here, which we'll have to remove. These bolts are an E8 bolt, as you can see, and this is, you must fit it on like this and then slowly remove the nuts. If you loosen them, that is loosened, and also repeat that for the other ones as well. Once the coil pack is free, we can start to remove the coil pack. You can see it actually bends down inside, and therefore I like to hold it from the back here and then push it from the back so it comes out. I like to keep the connector inside, there's no need to remove it, and then this will just come out gently, and then you can put it aside. Next, what you will need is a 12.14 mm socket. This engine will need the 12-point fin socket, otherwise it will not fit inside. This socket is also magnetic and therefore will hold the spark plug. Now what you must do is put in the socket, and the socket is fitted in nicely. This is recording survey. This is a free 8 socket and a wrench. So as the wrench is inside, make sure to grip it nice and firmly, and now loosen the spark plug. Now that is loosened, you can loosen it by hand and take the wrench off. So this will be slowly coming out, as you can see. Once it has come out, it will become loose, and as you can see, we will retrieve the spark plug. This particular vehicle has done 21,000 miles. You can see the condition of the spark plug. Mercedes original, they like to use NGK, SILZK, FR8, D8D7G spark plugs. However, I have chosen to use the Bosch spark plug instead. The Bosch spark plug number is 0241 140 537. Keep it here, guys. Okay, press say yes. Now you can see the old spark plug versus the new one. You can see they are identical in shape and size. Now, this is the Bosch one. Now what we will do is place it inside the spark plug socket. It will hold itself due to it being metallic, and make sure the copper washer is nice and situated nicely at the bottom. Now what we will do is we'll put in the socket inside the spark plug hole and guide it downwards. What I always like to do is, before threading it, I like to do it the other way, as if we're removing it. This makes sure the spark plug seats in the threads, so there's no chance of cross-threading the spark plug. So a few rounds like this, and it is now fitted. So now, as long as it should swivel in by hand, that means it is on the threads. And now we'll keep threading it until it fits inside. That is stopped now. So what we will do, get the socket, and now tighten the socket. It doesn't need to be too tight, but just good enough, around 20 or so Newton meters. 23 was what Bosch say. And that you can feel by hand that is nice and tight. So I'm going to remove the spark plug and now put back in the coil pack. As you can see, coil pack will go in nicely. and as you can see, it is now in nicely. Now what we have left is just to close this top socket. Now do it for the next one. That's all done now. Now we will repeat this remainder of the steps for the next, this one and this one. And then what we will do when we remove the last one, I'll show you how to do that as well. The other spark plug, we must first remove this hose. You need to use an E11 socket firstly to remove these two bolts. You can see I already loosened them off, so they are nice and loose. Back here there is a clip which you push. Once it is pushed, then you can hold the pipe and it is coming out like followed. You must make sure to cover this area with a rag so nothing goes down underneath. Similarly, I will use this to remove this nut here and this nut here. Then I will move this aside and also lift up the spark plug coil to remove that spark plug. Now I'll move this aside, and as you can see, I've loosened up. Now I'll remove this coil in a similar fashion, nice and gently. I'll hold it, I'll grip it from the back so you can see it is coming out. And then you can see I've now removed the coil. Now I'll remove the spark plug in the same way. With the last coil pack, I've decided not to remove this. However, what I've decided to use is a swivel socket, as you can see. It swivels around. And what I've decided to do is put the swivel socket in like this, inside, and then open it with the help of the swivel socket. As you can see, I've removed the last coil pack while keeping this pipe in situ. Now I will remove the spark plug. Surprisingly, on the last spark plug that has come out, although the tip itself is okay, you can see that when you remove the spark plug from the holder, around it is quite corroded. That is not something I expected, given this car has only done 22,000 miles. So that itself is a good enough indication that you should change your spark plugs every 4 years minimum. Although Mercedes like to say 40,000 miles or whenever they say, many people don't really change their spark plugs. I definitely recommend you change your spark plugs on time. Now that you can see all those nuts have been refitted, now what we'll do is remove the protection we put over the turbo hose, and now nicely put the turbo hose back on. It is nicely fitted in, and then we will clip it in. You can see it's now clipped in securely, and then what is left, put in the 2 screws here. Now as you can see, 2 bolts are here and 2 bolts are nicely in place. That means all that is left is to put on the engine cover, push it into place, and that's all done. What we will do is change the air filter. The air filter is located under the ECU here. Luckily, we do not need to remove the ECU. Next, we will change the air filter. The air filter is located under the ECU. However, luckily we don't need to remove the ECU. There are 1, 2, 3 and 4 T25 screws, and simply all you have to do Open the screws as follows. I will remove all four and then show you. The screws are loosened. It will simply move like this. As you can see, you can lift it up and then get enough room to remove the air filter, which I will do. Sadly, it's difficult doing it by one hand, but that is enough room to remove the air filter. Once we have removed the air filter, you can see inside there is a bit of dust, which you should make sure to clean. This is the state of the old air filter, which was changed a year ago. So we will replace this, and then fitting is the reverse of removal. We will change the pollen filter. The pollen filter is situated in the passenger side compartment, and if you go underneath, you will see these little tabs. All you have to do is push them. There's a push tab, one here and then one here. Once you push it, it will come out. As you can see, this has come out. And next, all you will have to do is put your hand inside the hole and remove the filter. The filter will come out. As you can see, there's also some dust falling. Slowly and gently, the filter will come out, as you can see. Now you can see the filter has come out. We will inspect this filter. As you can see, a lot of dust inside. So we will be changing this filter for a new one. Fitting is of course the same, the reverse of removal. What I also like to do when changing pollen filters is to just turn on the inside fan, and sometimes what that does is blow off any air, any dust that is also inside. Once the new pollen filter is fitted, just make sure the clips are nicely secure and this cover itself is secure. As you can see in this case, it is nice and secure. Now what we must do is reset the service icon. How we do that is firstly make sure the mileage is showing, and then hold the center and the back button for 5 seconds. Once that is done, click the home button and go all the way to the side where it says workshop. Click workshop and go down to assist plus. You must put the ignition on, so I will do that. You can see here the service message. So we carried out a full service. Confirm service. Oil grade we used was 229.52. Service carried out, yes. Service can be undone, confirm. And full service is now completed. This means the message now is reset.